You know, sometimes life doesn't fall apart with a bang. It slips away quietly. Like when someone stops looking you in the eye. When they smile, but only with their mouth, not with their heart. That's what it was like with Madeline. At first, I didn't even notice it. Or maybe I just didn't want to. Because when you've built 10 years of memories with someone, a house, a family, holidays, routines, you don't expect the person next to you to drift away. You tell yourself it's just stress. Just work. Just the kids. Just a phase. But sometimes, just a phase is the beginning of the end. It was a Monday morning. The kind of morning that feels too ordinary to be important. But looking back, that's exactly when the ground started to crack. Madeline was doing her makeup. Our youngest was shouting something about missing socks, and I was sipping coffee that had gone cold without me noticing. She looked calm. Too calm. Not in a peaceful way, but in that distant, disconnected way, like she was already somewhere else in her mind. "You all right?" I asked. She paused for half a second too long. Then she smiled. That tiny, rehearsed smile people give when they want to end a conversation before it begins. "I'm fine. Just tired." But her phone was already in her hand. She was holding it like it had something inside she didn't want me to see. And when it buzzed, she turned it over without even glancing at it. That's when something in me shifted. I didn't say anything. But that moment stuck with me the rest of the day. At the office, I couldn't focus. Every small pause in the day, I kept hearing her voice. Kept seeing the way she looked past me, not at me. And suddenly, all the things I'd ignored made sense. The late nights. The weekend errands. The silence between us that used to be laughter. I didn't have proof. But I had something worse. I had a feeling. And sometimes, that's all it takes. It was 3 days later. A Thursday. Late evening. Madeline was upstairs helping our daughter with homework. I was in the living room, folding laundry, mine somewhere else entirely. And then, her phone buzzed on the kitchen counter. She had left it there. Unlocked. Not something she ever did. And for the first time in 10 years of marriage. I looked. I didn't plan to. Didn't go searching. Didn't swipe through photos or dig through old texts. All I did was glance at the screen. Just one glance. And that was all it took. One preview. One line of a message. "Last night was perfect. I can still feel you." No name. Just initials. D. My heart didn't race. It didn't even break. It just stopped. Because in that moment, I wasn't a husband anymore. I was a man standing in the ruins of his own life, trying to figure out how it had collapsed without making a sound. I put the phone back exactly how it was. Didn't confront her. Didn't say a word. When she came back downstairs, she kissed me on the cheek, like nothing had happened. And I kissed her back. Because something in me already knew. The person I loved was gone. She still looked the same. Still moved the same. Still sat beside me on the couch like we were a team. But her heart? Her loyalty? That had left a long time ago, and I had finally seen where it went. After that night, I stopped guessing. I started watching. Not like a detective. Not like a man out for revenge. But like someone who needed to stop lying to himself. I began paying attention to the details. The calls that came in while she was at yoga. The sudden interest in going grocery shopping alone. The subtle changes in how she dressed. The perfume she hadn't worn in years. And most of all, how she smiled at her phone. Not just smiled. Glowed. Like the screen was her escape. Like it held something she couldn't find in this house anymore. I never confronted her. Not yet. Because part of me still hoped I was wrong. Still hoped this was some horrible misunderstanding. But the pattern was too clear. And on a quiet Sunday afternoon, it finally gave me what I needed. She was in the shower. Her phone was on the dresser. Face up. I didn't touch it. Didn't have to. Another message lit up the screen. And this one didn't hide behind initials. "Miss you already, babe. Same time next week. Derek." I knew that name. Not just because it was unusual. Because I knew the man. Derek was someone we'd both known for years. Not close. But familiar. A dad from our daughter's school. Someone who once helped me carry a broken printer out of my car at the PTA meeting. He had looked me in the eye. Smiled. Shook my hand. And all the while, he was sleeping with my wife. That was the moment something in me snapped. Not in anger. Not in pain. But in clarity. I couldn't unsee it. Couldn't unknow it. Couldn't live under the same roof with a lie that had a name and a face. I didn't break down. I didn't scream. I just sat there, in the quiet, knowing that the next time I looked Madeline in the eyes, I wouldn't see my wife. I'd see the woman who made me feel like a fool in my own home. After I knew who it was, I didn't need proof anymore. What I needed was peace. And strangely, watching her lie, day after day, became the proof I never had to ask for. That week, I stopped engaging. Stopped asking where she was going. Stopped offering to help with dinner. Stopped pretending. And still, she kept playing the role. She'd smile. Kiss me goodbye. Text from the other room while calling it work. I watched it all with quiet detachment. Not because I didn't care anymore, but because I was done carrying both of us. Then came the night I couldn't ignore. She came home late. Lipstick slightly smudged. Hair tousled in a way that wasn't from wind. She dropped her keys, laughed softly to herself, and walked in like she owned the silence. Sorry, she said. Dinner ran long with the girls. She said it so smoothly. So casually. Like she'd practiced it in the car. And maybe she had. So I asked a question I already knew the answer to. You still talk to Derek much? Her fork paused halfway to her mouth. Derek? No, not really. Why? I just shrugged. Was just wondering. And in that pause, that half-second of hesitation, she gave herself away. Her voice cracked. Her hand trembled. She blinked too much. I didn't push. I didn't accuse. Because I didn't need to. She was unraveling in real time, and every word she said only buried her deeper. Later that night, I left my phone unlocked on the nightstand. And on it, open and waiting, was the message from Derek that had lit up her screen. She saw it. She went pale. But I didn't say a word. Just rolled over and turned off the light. If she wanted out of this marriage so badly, I was finally letting her go. But I was going to make sure she saw exactly what she had broken. Not through anger. Not through revenge. Through silence. And silence, sometimes, is the loudest truth of all. I woke up before sunrise. The house was silent. Too silent. That strange, heavy kind of quiet. The kind that knows something's ending. I didn't pack much. Just what mattered. A few clothes. My laptop. The photo of our daughter when she was 3, sitting on my shoulders at the beach. The rest? Let it stay. Let her keep the plates, the sofa, the framed wedding picture. All the things that once meant us. Because now, they meant nothing. Madeline stirred as I zipped the bag. She opened her eyes, sat up slowly. Where are you going? She asked, voice already shaking. I didn't turn around. Out. Out where? Ethan, what's going on? I paused at the door. You know what's going on. Please. Let's talk about this. Now she was getting up. Now the panic was setting in. But I had no interest in watching her scramble for excuses. No interest in another performance. I already heard enough, Madeline, I said. Every lie you whispered into your phone. I listened to it all. She froze. That was the moment it hit her. That it was over. Not because she got caught, but because she finally realized I was no longer trying to forgive her. I was done. She started to cry. Tears she used to save for real pain. Now spent on regret. I made a mistake, she said. We can fix this. I finally turned to her. Looked her in the eyes one last time. You didn't make a mistake. You made a choice. Over and over again. Now I'm making mine. And then I left. Not with rage. Not with bitterness. Just clarity. Outside, the morning air was cold. But it felt honest. Real. For the first time in months, maybe years, I could breathe. And that was enough.